I mean, for the most part, it was like, I don't know, man. I'm not good at weekends where I have time off, but I don't have I have things I have to do. Like there was a reason I was off last Thursday, right? It was for something for my kid. So, and then Friday, you and I had planned weeks and weeks and weeks ago because we've learned a valuable lesson that
Drew said we're not about that grind, though. I got a couple texts from people.
Not about that grind?
Yeah, that was something Drew said.
Wow.
I got a text from...
Okay.
I know. I had multiple people text me and said, yeah, Drew said that you and Cody are not about that grind, that everybody else was there on Friday. I go, oh, interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
Wait, what?
Yep.
I can't believe that, Drew.
I know. I was stunned to hear that.
Unbelievable.
Hold on a second. I need context. What did you guys just say?
Oh, you didn't have your headphones on.
I did not have the headset on. I totally
Someone
missed
said
it.
you said we're not about that grind. You were accusing us of
on
being
Friday.
lazy.
Is that true?
That's Mink and I were talking about. I don't even remember what the context was. It was like rise and grind or something along those lines. And I was like, I mean, I'm here. Bob and Dusty are here. Carrington and Rob are here. I don't know where Golden and Cody are because everybody was asking where you guys were.
They said, "quote You guys are not about that grind. Some of us are not about that grind." That was the quote. That was the quote.
That was the joke that I gave, and then everybody after that was like, "Well, Cody has a wife, so Valentine's Day makes sense. Why is Gold taking Valentine's Day off? He's single."
Had nothing to do with Valentine's Day. I can tell you that. It had nothing to do with
himself some chocolates.
It had nothing to do with Valentine's Day. Build-A-Bear. Those places are still around, aren't they? Those are still overpriced as ever, I'm guessing.
I would assume so, yes.
Yeah. No, I had nothing with Valentine's Day. If anything, I started watching a show that you and everybody's been telling me to watch for, I don't know, the last year. Severance on Apple.
Been Severance,
dude.
Huh?
Well, I didn't. 5 episodes in. That's
a decent binge.
On season 1. Obviously, I know the new season just came out, so that's basically some of the stuff that I did over the weekend. And then went to the gym. I told you I've been going to the gym. I didn't go for like a week and a half because the Super Bowl week was busy.
Nuts.
And then, of course, so now I'm very sore because I didn't work out for a week. And so now... But it felt good. It feels good when you go.
Take a little extra time.
And I knew I went the last 2 days in a row because I knew I was not going today or tomorrow with the weather. So
I did. I don't know. It was a variety of things to keep myself busy. It felt like a fast few days off. So no, I'm not.
People are saying you and the wife went to a Michelin star restaurant.
Did not go to a Michelin. Are there a Michelin star
Kansas
restaurant
City?
in Kansas City?
I don't think so. I could be wrong.
I would go to a Michelin star restaurant. I'd like to experience that once in my life. But to this point in my life,
there's a ton in Vegas. There's a ton in Vegas. But,
well, there's a lot in Vegas, and I think we had plans when we were originally going to go to New York last year before my wife had broken her ankle.
Oh, jeez,
we had or 2 years when we had this whole big plan.
2 years ago.
2 years ago. So maybe a different day on that. Meanwhile, over the weekend, our guy, JJ Piccolo, who joins us regularly during the baseball season. We're hoping to have JJ on later this week to talk about it as well. Got a contract extension for the Royals. And a year ago, had I said this to Royals fans, most of you would have been melting down because the initial hire people weren't a big fan of. Let's just be honest. And they weren't a big fan of because he was the under guy to Dayton Moore, who they were ready to move on from. They were ready to move past, get to a new regime, start fresh. We had told you at the time that JJ didn't think exactly like Dayton. They weren't going to run the same type of organization. But now as we sit today, because they made the postseason last year, because they signed Bobby Witt Jr., and if you're on the other side, I want to know, 913-586-7965. And for some reason, you're getting to your location, you're not going to drive the rest of the day, video stream, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch. We live stream the show every day. You can still find us. I don't think we'll find many people who will dislike this deal anymore because it makes perfect sense. You get a Royals organization who goes to the playoffs once every blue moon to the playoffs, you get an extension. You get to keep doing your job.
Right. This was always going to happen at some point. I don't know whether it was going to happen before the season or at the end of this season. This was always going to play out. You mentioned the track record of, unfortunately, not a ton of playoff appearances for this organization. And so when you're the GM during that run for starters, and I think look at specifically, we'll find out about the draft stuff over the next 3 years, really, because it takes time. But in terms of the big league level, over and over last year, we hit on this, which is the job he and his staff have done evaluating big league talent on other clubs to go and acquire talent
has been
pretty incredible. The most notable one is the Cole Reagans deal. We all know that. He also got an extension this past week, and so it was time to give everybody extensions. It was just the way things worked out. We'll talk about Reagans. We'll talk about Reagans in a little bit too later on throughout the day, and his very, very team friendly extension, I think. But that was the notable one. The Chapman Reagans. Remember, he had to go sign Aroldis Chapman, be willing